So friends, let's start with today's easy to make keema patties recipe. Now we're going to start by making the keema first. So in a pan I've heated about 1 tablespoon of oil and I've added 1 medium sized onion that I've chopped fine. Now I'm going to fry the onion well till it turns translucent. Then I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of ginger garlic paste. If you're making the paste, then use 1 inch of ginger and 6 cloves of garlic. Make a fine paste. Now fry everything well till the rawness of the ginger and the garlic goes away. Next, we're going to add 1 teaspoon of pepper powder. I've just roasted the peppercorns and ground them to a fine powder in my mixer pot. Now I'm going to add 200 grams of chicken mince. Now here what I've done is I've taken the chicken breast and then I've really made it very fine with a very sharp knife and then ran it through my mixer, but otherwise you can use the ready-made chicken mince too. Now I'm going to cover and cook this for about 2 minutes. Next, I'm going to add about 2 teaspoons of coriander powder. I've done the same thing. I've taken the coriander seeds and roasted them and then ground them to a fine powder. So you can make this in a big batch and keep it in your kitchen pantry and use it whenever you require. I'm going to use 1 teaspoon of cumin powder. Same thing, roast the cumin seeds well or the jeera and then, grind it to a fine powder and transfer it to a nice glass bottle. So it's always good to have, these powders really handy, like pepper powder, coriander powder and jeera powder. So you can make them at home instead of buying the ready-made one. So now I'm going to mix everything really, really well. And I'm going to cook this till the chicken turns, into a nice white color. Now I'm going to add some salt to taste. Now this is the normal way I make, keema at home. This is 1 tablespoon of meat masala. It's a very easy recipe for keema. You can, have keema pav. You can make a keema paratha out of it. Now I'm going to add half a teaspoon of haldi powder, 1 teaspoon of red chili powder, and again mix everything well and fry everything well. Now I'm just going to add about 3/4 of a cup of water because now we want to cook the keema really well and let all of these lovely masalas really flavor the keema really, really well. So for that we add a little water and then we cover and cook it on a very low flame for 10 minutes at least. Now after 10 minutes your keema is all ready. You can see that all the water has evaporated and the aroma of the keema is really great. Now I've just transferred it to a bowl and set it aside. Now I'm going to dust my surface with some flour and I'm going to roll out my puff pastry. Now again I'm using ready-made puff pastry. I'll leave a recipe for homemade puff pastry in the description box below. Now I'm going to cut off the edges and just form it into a square and then cut 4 equal parts. Then I'm going to take my keema, which has cooled down by now, and just add it to half of the square. Then I'm going to put the other half on top and seal off the edges. Now you can cut off the edges, all the excess. Now I've just greased my pan with my baking tray with some butter, and I've also preheated my oven to 180 degrees Celsius. 200 degrees Celsius or 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 10 minutes. So you can do that, while you're shaping up the patties. You can put your oven on preheat. See that the edges are sealed, otherwise when you're baking it all the keema will come out. So ensure that the edges are nice and sealed and place them at a little bit of a distance because they do puff up a bit. Now I'm just going to give them an egg wash. So all I've done is I've just taken 1 egg, beaten it really well, and using my silicone brush I'm just going to brush it on top. This will give the patties a beautiful golden brown color. So things you have to keep in mind is preheat your oven. And now I'm just going to bake them at 180 degrees Celsius or 360 degrees Fahrenheit for a good 15 to 20 minutes depending upon, your oven. Once they're nice and golden brown, let them cool completely. And once they are cool, just enjoy them. They're nice and crispy and light. So I hope you like this recipe and I do hope you do try out this recipe. Leave your comments in the comment section below. I would love to hear from all of you.
Recipes. Thank you so much for stopping by. Well, today's recipe is a very light and refreshing and healthy recipe. Today I'll be showing you one of my favorite dishes which I like to cook up when I'm not really in the mood of making something very extravagant and I just want to make something light yet delicious and yummy. So today I'm going to be showing you two dishes. The first one being coriander and lemon rice. This is very light on the palate and it is just simply delicious. And to go with it, I'm just going to be making some Szechuan chicken, which doesn't take any time to prepare and it has a few ingredients which are easily available. So I hope you like today's recipe. I hope
Rice, I'm using about 1 cup of cooked rice. Then I have the juice of 1 entire lime or lemon, 1 cup of freshly chopped coriander, some salt to taste. I'm using pink Himalayan salt. Now first I'm going to take the rice as much as I require, which I'm using about 1 cup roughly, into a large bowl. Now I'm going to season this with some salt to taste. I'm using about half a teaspoon of salt. Then we're going to mix this rice and the salt well. Next, we're going to add the juice of 1 lemon or lime. And we're going to add in the coriander, which has been soaked in some salt water for about 5 minutes, washed thoroughly under running water, and then chopped up. Remember to wash your coriander very well. And now just mix everything together. And your coriander and lemon rice is all ready. Do try out this recipe, friends. You're going to love this recipe. It's so light and refreshing and a different take on preparing rice. So now we're going to move on to the second part of the recipe, which is the lovely Szechuan chicken, which gets ready in no time at all. You just require a few ingredients. Now here I'm using about 200 grams of boneless chicken breast, which I've cut up into small pieces. Then this is the Szechuan mix, which you get in the Keema brand. It's easily available. This is some Szechuan chutney, some soya sauce. This is some ginger garlic paste, some sesame oil. This is optional, but this gives a lovely flavor, some salt to taste, and some cooking oil or some olive oil. I like to use olive oil in my cooking. Now first I'm going to season the chicken very well with this Szechuan mix. In fact, Keema has come up with many different spices. This is not a sponsored video, but the other day when I went to Nature's Basket, I found that they had come up with so many new brands. They've come up with, so many new flavors rather, like Mexican spice, and a lot of other flavors too. So we said, let's try out this Szechuan mix. So I put about 1 entire tablespoon, but you can also add more if you want to add, have it more on the spicier side. Now I'm going to add some soya sauce, about 1 teaspoon. Mix everything well. Now I'm going to add some salt to taste. About half a teaspoon of salt will do. Now I'm going to be adding the Szechuan chutney. Now you can always add as little or as much as you like, depending on how spicy you would like this dish. Now just mix everything together and just set it aside for 5 minutes. This doesn't need to be marinated for a very long time. And now we're going to cook the chicken. Now I am going to be heating the pan and I'm going to be adding about 1 teaspoon of this sesame oil. Now this is optional, but this sesame oil just gives a little nutty kind of or a different kind of flavor to this dish. If you have it at hand, then you can use it. Otherwise, just use regular cooking oil or olive oil. Well, I have switched completely over to olive oil for all of my cooking. Olive oil and clarified butter, that is desi ghee. I only use these two as my cooking agents. Now I'm going to add my ginger garlic paste It's a coarsely ground paste. You don't have to make a very fine paste. We're going to fry this till the rawness of the ginger and garlic go away. Now remember, you don't need to heat olive oil, to a very high temperature. Now we're just going to add this marinated chicken, get all those lovely sauces and juices in there. And then just stir this up a little so that everything gets evenly coated. And we have to cook the chicken till it's, nicely cooked and it's not raw inside. So we're going to cook it for about 8 to 10 minutes. Just stirring it around so that everything gets evenly coated with the oil and all the spices come together. And just keep stirring in the middle. Just check whether all the chicken is nicely coated with all of the marinade and the oil. Now I'm just going to be adding a little more of Szechuan chutney because we do love spicy food at my home. So you can add, or you can just add as much as you like. Now we're going to cover this and cook it for some time. Just stirring in between. See the sizzling sound? Everything is just coming together and it's going to be an awesome dish, and it doesn't take much time to prepare. So once you finish stirring, we're going to again cover and cook this for another 2 to 3 minutes because we want our chicken to be cooked well. We don't want to have any raw chicken. And here, friends, our chicken is almost ready. Now I'm going to be adding a little bit of onion. So I'm using half an onion, which I've just cubed up. This is again optional, but this adds a lovely crunch to the dish. So you can add that. When you add onion at the end, the onion remains crunchy. If you add it at the beginning, then it becomes soft. So I like to add this onion at the end for that lovely crunch. And then I'm just going to be adding about 1 teaspoon of vinegar. You can also add lime juice or vinegar just for a little bit of tanginess. If you don't like the tangy flavor, you can leave out the vinegar or the lime. It tastes good anyway. And your chicken is all ready. So you just serve up some chicken with your coriander rice and you're all set to have a lovely meal. It gets ready in no time. There's no fuss about it. It's so easy to make. So it's very light and refreshing. Some lovely coriander and lemon rice with some Szechuan chicken. So I hope you like today's 2 recipes. I hope you give them a try. Do let me know in the comments box below how you liked these recipes. And if
Hi friends, this is Akshata from Akshata's Recipes. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make some mini pancakes for breakfast, and we're going to make it really fancy with some Nutella and some vanilla ice cream and some chocolate syrup. So without much further ado, let's jump straight ahead into the recipe. Well friends, for our pancake recipe, we're going to be using 2 cups of all-purpose flour or maida, First, we're going to mix in all the dry ingredients. So now we have 1.5 tablespoon of baking powder. Mix this together with a whisk. The baking powder helps to make this pancake really airy and soft. Now we're going to add 2 tablespoons of very fine icing sugar, preferably by the store-bought one, or use the store-bought one. And if you're using the homemade one, then please sift it or sieve it. Then goes in 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Again, give this a very good mix. And whenever you're making your pancakes, keep all your ingredients ready. Now to this go 2 eggs, which I have just whisked a little, followed by half a cup of butter. Now this butter helps to make the pancake batter very smooth and very light. Give this a little bit of a whisk. Now in goes just a little bit of vanilla essence. I'm roughly eyeballing it to about half a teaspoon. And we have some room temperature milk, which is 1.5 cup of room temperature milk. Now we're going to give all of this a mix so we get a lovely smooth pancake mixture with no lumps at all. So you can either use a whisk or you can use a spatula, whatever you are comfortable with, but we have to get a very, very smooth batter. Now you can make this pancake on a girdle or on a pan, but I saw we had gone to the mall and we had these pancakes at 99 pancakes, and so I got inspired to make these mini pancakes. And for that I'm going to be using my Uttapam maker to get amazing small mini beautiful delicate delicious pancakes. So we had all gone there, and my friends Pavitra and Priya, they both told me, Akshita, why don't you try making this at home using the Uttapam maker? So that's what I am doing in this video. Now you got to rest this mixture for at least 15 minutes till everything gets nicely incorporated together before making our amazing pancakes. Now using an Uttapam maker, I'm making these mini pancakes. If you have the mini pancake pan, you can use that too. So we're going to brush this. I've brushed this with a little bit of oil. You can use clarified butter, ghee or plain butter. Just a little bit. You can drain off the excess and just fill this up, not fully, just halfway through, with this pancake batter which has been resting aside for 15 minutes. Now because the mixture is so airy and light because of the baking powder and everything, you will see little small bubbles coming to the surface. If you have visited the 99 pancake stores, you will see the same effect. It looks just the same with little bubbles popping on the top. And now we're going to wait for this to just brown a little on the side. And then we're going to turn it. You can brush it with a little bit of butter on the side. That's optional. Just sprinkle a little bit of butter on the sides. And now you can see that, they've got a little bit brown on the sides. And now using a fork, we're going to turn them till they're nice and golden brown and cooked on both sides. You can use 2 spoons, you can use 2 forks. Or you can use those pancake sticks which you get, which I will show you at the end of the video, because I later realized that I had those sticks with me, and I once after filming this video, I went and I found those sticks. So I'll put a clip of that at the end of the video, so you can, if you get your hands on those sticks, you can use them. So now once your pancakes are hot, just taken out of the pan, first you're going to drizzle some pancake syrup. You can also put some honey. And after that, I'm just going to put some Nutella, just drop some Nutella all over. It gives a lovely chocolate hazelnut delicious taste. You can put whatever toppings you want. If you have fresh strawberries or fresh fruit of any type, I mean bananas, just go ahead and just make your pancakes the way you love it. And here I'm just putting some amazing chilled vanilla ice cream. And because the pancakes are so hot, your ice cream will just melt. And finally, we're going to just drizzle this with some Hershey's chocolate syrup. So like I said, you can make it however you want. You can put sprinkles, you can drop some nuts, anything. So I hope you like this video and I hope you like this recipe. Please let me know in the comments box below. And like I said, these are the pancake sticks. They're just wooden sticks. You get them at any store. So this really helps you to turn the pancakes over very easily. Today's recipe is a chocolate cookie recipe which has only 3 ingredients, and it's made out of one of my favorite hazelnut chocolates. You've guessed it right, it's Nutella, and it's so easy to make. It gets ready within about 15 minutes. So if you're really hungry and you just want to have something sweet, like you're watching your favorite movie and you just feel like dunking some cookies in a chilled glass of milk, then this is the ideal recipe to go to. So friends, we'll go to my kitchen and make this amazing chocolate. So friends, we're going to take about 1 cup of Nutella or 150 grams of Nutella in a bowl. Now we're going to crack open 1 egg. And we're going to give this a good mix so that the egg gets well incorporated with the Nutella. Now we're just going to use all-purpose flour or plain flour. We're going to use 1 cup, but we're going to add half a cup at a time and mix it nicely into our egg and Nutella mixture. So just fold it in nicely. Then you can add the remaining half cup, which is again, we're going to use 1 entire cup, which is 150 grams. So whatever quantity of Nutella you're using, you're going to use the same amount of flour. And if you want to make more cookies, then if you're doubling their quantity, then add 2 eggs. So now give all of this a good mix. Now we're going to add some choco chips into this, but that is purely optional. And now we're going to line a baking tray with some baking paper or parchment paper, and now we're just going to take a little bit of the dough and roll them out into small balls and just space them out. Keep some space between each of them. From the amount of flour and Nutella that I'm using, I got exactly 20 cookies. Now once you've rolled them all out and spaced them out on the baking sheet, just take a fork and lightly press it down to give it a nice design or impression on the cookie. It really makes it look very nice once it's baked. And now all we have to do is just pop it into an oven and bake it for about 10 to 12 minutes at 180 degrees Celsius.
And there our cookies are baking, and here they're all ready. But let them sit on the tray for about 5 minutes, and then we're going to transfer them onto a wire rack, and it has to cool down completely for 10 minutes. That is very, very crucial, so that you get the perfect chocolate cookie. So here we're going to transfer them onto a wire rack and let them sit there for about 10 to 15 minutes till they're completely cooled down. And our cookies are all ready to eat after 10 to 15 minutes. They look delicious and they definitely taste delicious, and you can see that they're nice and soft at the center and they have a lovely crust on the outside. They're really, really crunchy. I hope you liked this instant rava dosa and coconut chutney recipe. Now here I've taken exactly 1 cup of very fine rava or semolina, 1 cup of rice flour. If you don't have rice flour, you can use maida, and half a cup of yogurt or dahi. And I'm also going to be using some salt to taste. Now I have a recipe of how to make your own dahi or curd at home. I will leave a link below. Now I'm going to add this semolina or this rava to my bowl, mixing bowl in which we're going to make our batter. Next I'm going to add my rice flour. Then we will add in the dahi or the curd. Next, we are going to add some salt to taste. And then we're going to mix all of this well. Now we're going to add a little water at a time. And we're going to whisk this till we get a very smooth and runny batter. We don't want a very thick batter like a dosa batter. We want a very runny batter. So your batter should have this kind of runny, liquidy consistency. Now we're going to cover and set this aside for at least an hour. Now we're going to heat our iron pan. And now when we're ready to make the dosa, see the batter, it is nice and runny like this. We're going to add in some light green chilies, some grated ginger, and some chopped up curry leaves. Now I'll leave all the ingredients along with their exact measurements in the description box below. Now ensure that your iron tawa or your dosa tawa that you use regularly is nice and hot. Now we're just going to brush a little oil on the tawa. And we're going to stir the batter once and we're going to pour it in this manner, starting from the edges and then moving towards the center. And you have to get this kind of porous kind of a dosa. Now let the dosa cook really nice and well on a low to medium flame till the edges start to brown. So this should take you at least half a minute or sometimes even up to a minute. But this takes some time for the dosa to really crisp up. Now, if you don't want a very crispy dosa, then the minute the edges turn brown, you can flip it off. But if you want a real nice crispy rava dosa, then just wait for it to become nice and brown, and all the edges have to nicely brown up. Now you can see that all the edges have turned nice and brown. And now I can just loosen up the dosa and then flip it. Now we want to cook this on the lower side too for at least a little, at least half a minute or even less than half a minute, for a few seconds till it browns nicely on the lower side too. And then we're going to flip it and then just turn it in this fashion and serve it in your plate. So this is how you're going to, just continue till you're done with the batter, or, how many ever dosas you want to make. And our dosa is ready. And now I'm just going to show you a quick chutney recipe which you can make to accompany this dosa. It's very simple, friends. So here all I have used is some green chili, some lime, some chopped up garlic and some ginger, grated ginger. I'll leave all the instructions in the description box below. Some fresh grated coconut, some coriander, some salt and sugar. So I just added all of that to my mixer, and I'm just going to squeeze in the juice of half a lemon. And I'm just going to grind this, adding very little water, maybe just about a tablespoon or two, till I get this type of a coarsely ground chutney. And that's it, friends. Your instant rava dosa and coconut chutney is all ready. So you can make this for your breakfast and enjoy it.
Hi friends, this is Akshata here with yet another quick and delicious recipe. Today I'll be showing you how to make some homemade garlic bread. You know the garlic bread that you get at Domino's? It tastes just the same. So let's get started. Here in my bowl I have taken about 6 cups of all-purpose flour or maida. Here I have 1 cup of lukewarm water. It should not be very hot and it should not be very cold. Just make it hot in the microwave for about half a minute. And if you find it very hot, just add a little more room temperature water. It should be very lukewarm. Then I have 25 grams of dry active yeast, half a teaspoon of sugar and a pinch of salt, which I am going to add when I'm kneading the dough into this flour. So our first step will be, we will first add in some sugar to this lukewarm water. This is what the yeast actually feeds on and doubles in size. Now we will add our yeast. Give it a gentle stir. Don't stir too much. And we'll keep this yeast aside till it doubles in size and froths. That will take about 5 to 10 minutes. Now you can see that the yeast has frothed like this. So now we are going to continue making this garlic bread. So now we are going to first add some salt. I have taken about 1 teaspoon of salt. To this, first we'll mix the salt into the flour, and slowly we're going to add this yeast mixture. And now we have to form a dough. Just like how you make a normal dough for bread or for your puris, chapatis, rotis, we form a dough. Now we will transfer this onto our surface. It becomes easier to knead. Now you can, if you find that your dough is on the drier side, you can add a little bit of water. We want a little bit of a sticky dough, not a very dry dough. So we'll knead this well. So finally we come to a nice dough like this. It's not very soft, not very hard. And now just pour some olive oil. You can pour it onto your hands and just massage this dough very well. So that the olive oil goes into the dough well and to every part of it. And in this way you can just massage the dough. And this is the consistency you want. It should feel like a baby's bottom. Then we will take a bowl. Put a little bit of olive oil. Just coat the inside of the bowl well. Take this dough. Coat the dough with olive oil too. And now we will let our dough rise to at least double its size. Cover it with a damp cloth and keep it in a warm, dark place till it rises in size, double in size. And now friends, you can see that after 45 minutes, it has risen to double its size, the dough. So now again we have to spread some dry maida or all-purpose flour and empty this dough back again and again give it a good massage. So we will knead this for some time, for about 2 minutes. So now you divide the dough into 2 halves. We'll keep one back. And on your baking tray, just spread a little bit of dry flour. And we are going to spread this out. And in this way, friends, we will spread it out onto 2 baking sheets, baking trays. And you can also just give it this shape. And now we are going to again cover it with a cloth and keep it for another 45 minutes for proofing. So in this way, I have just covered this dough and we're going to keep it for another 45 minutes to proof. Now friends, we will preheat our oven at 200 degrees Celsius for about 10 minutes. And here after 45 minutes, you can see that the dough has again risen, which we had kept for proofing. Now you have to prepare a mixture of, I've taken 1 teaspoon of chili flakes, 1 teaspoon of oregano, 1 teaspoon of pizza pasta seasoning and salt to taste. And some pepper powder, about 1 teaspoon of pepper powder. And now with your fingers, just make some holes like this in your, not right up to down, just on the top, on the surface, just poke it with your fingers. Some olive oil in a bowl and a brush and just lightly brush the olive oil on top of the surface of the dough. It has to be evenly spread all over. Don't leave any dry places. Similarly with the other one too. And in this way, I have placed some garlic, finely chopped garlic like this, all over the bread, sliced similarly on this one too. Spread it evenly. Similarly, I've placed some olives. Similarly, I've placed some jalapenos evenly. And now we will sprinkle this mix which we had made with chili flakes, pepper, pizza pasta sauce, pizza pasta seasoning and salt. This also spread it evenly all over the dough. And now we're going to put this into our oven to bake at 200 degrees Celsius. We're going to keep this for about 25 minutes. And here, friends, this is the garlic bread all ready from the oven. So now we're going to just cut it up into strips. And here, friends, is the garlic bread all ready. You can see that everything has been baked very well. Even the bread, the underneath of the bread is nice and brown. You can serve this with some cheesy dip or even the normal cheese spread that you get in the stores. So I hope you liked this recipe. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel by pressing the red subscribe button you see below this video. This is Akshata signing off. Until another video, take care. Bye. Recipe and let me know in the comments box how you like today's recipe. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up by clicking on the thumbs up icon. I need those thumbs ups. And also, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, then please do and hit the red subscribe button that you see below this video. Once you have subscribed, a little bell icon will show up. Click that, because that way whenever I put up a new recipe, you'll get a message for the same. Thank you so much for watching today's video and being a part of my channel.